So last week we just reached to know about the networks, right? And we discussed about different kinds of network devices, right? So today we are going to continue from that particular point onwards, right? So let me take your textbook. So we will be, hopefully we will be able to finish up the lesson by today. Right, so let's try our best. So we get to know about the hardwares, we get to know about the types of networks and the medias, right? And how a network devices are effects on a particular network. And we get to know about the devices that helps to create a network. And today we are going to know about different kinds of networks, or like types of networks, right? So basically there are different types of networks, but majorly we are talking about three different types of networks, which we call LAN, MAN, and WAN. So LAN is stands for local area network. Metropolitan area networks is called MAN, and wide area networks, it is called WAN. Right, so LAN, MAN, and WAN. This particular categorization done based on the geographical area where this network is spread. Right. So let's see. When it comes to the LAN, we call it a local area network. So why it is called a local area network? Because it's spread over a very little amount of geographical area, like inside a classroom, like inside a floor of a building, right? So we call it is small in size, right? And it's spread over the places that I told you, right? So we call it a local area network. So there will be a central device like a hub or switch. So each and every computer and the devices are connected to it. Then we can have the facility of the networks of that small network, right? And when it comes to the metropolitan area network, now metropolitan is generally we use that to indicate a city, right? So metropolitan means some network which is bigger than the local area network, right? So it can spread over several buildings. Now you can say like when the network spread over inside a university which has a big amount of buildings, that performs a metropolitan area network, right? And sometimes it may spread over a village, so we can see it's a metropolitan area network, right? And like inside a bank, the banking network, we call it is a metropolitan area network. So it's a little bit big. Sometimes it's spread over a number of floors of a building. Like let's if we take a building has 10 floors, so when the network spread over 10 floors, so it is working as a metropolitan area network, right? So like per floor you may be having a local area network, so connection of those networks together will create a metropolitan area network, like the picture shows you, right? It has several different places like the head office, warehouse, factory, provincial office. So it's spread, it's not that big, right? But it's comparatively bigger than the LAN. And when it comes to the wide area network, internet is the best example for that. So wide is literally talking about the wide thing, right? So it's spread over a huge space of geographical area, right? So like all over the globe, the internet is spread all over the globe. So we call it a wide area network, right? And there can be more wide area networks, like if a network is spreading over like like let's say like inside, like across several countries, right? So then it can be called as a wide area network. It's a very huge geographical space if we think about several countries, right? So anyway, remember the biggest one is the wide area network. The smallest one is the local area network. In between, you can find the metropolitan area network, right? Okay. Clear, people? Terunadeka? It's a small concept. Very small one. Got it, people? Yes, everyone. Okay, thank you. Right. Udamya, what happened? Interference. Udamya, we were talking about the three types of networks, which is local area network, metropolitan area network, and wide area network, which is based on the geographical area that it is spread, right? So local area network spread over a small geographical area. Wide area network spread a very big amount of geographical area. Like local area, we can take a small laboratory, like the school laboratory, right? It's a local area network, LAN. And wide area network, we can take internet as the wide area network. So it's huge. It's spread over the globe, right? And metropolitan area network is something larger than the LAN, but smaller than the WAN, right? So if you think about several buildings, they have separate LANs, and those LANs are connected with each other. So it creates a metropolitan area network, right? So LAN is the smallest, metropolitan area network, MAN is the middle one, or like the bigger than the LAN but smaller than the WAN, and WAN is the biggest, right? So that is what we were talking about. Okay, shall we write down like very simply about these things? Right, I want you to have the heading types of networks, and I need you to draw this very quickly. And at the below මේ local area network කියන තැන මෙතන යටම පොඩි ඉඩක් තියාගන්න we are going to write what they are, right? So type of the network is the heading and the diagram. Yes, Tesandu. School computer lab is a example for local area network. Udamya, yeah, geo satellites. Yeah, we can take it as a wide area network though, because it covers the entire globe. So yeah, it's a good example for wide area network. So now it's going to be the hold on, geo satellites. Yeah, that can be taken. That can be taken. Right. So if you are done, let's write the things under these categories, right? So under the local area network, yeah, write this sentence under this, right, in your diagram. Write this sentence. Excuse me. And list down the examples. So the second line as the examples. Right. Right. So under the metropolitan area network, here, this particular sentence. Right. So if you are done with the metropolitan area network, you can write the examples under it. Right. So this will be the first point and the example. Right. Okay. One is done. How about others? All right. Two are done. Okay. Seems done. All right. So the last one, wide area network, WAN. Yeah. Yeah. So you have to write these little three sentences under that wide area network. All right, so that is quite fast, Dinaka. So how about others? All right, so you are done with the network types. So then after network topologies, right? Now this network topologies means how we can make the networks. What are the ways that we can make the networks? Now, when it comes to the topologies, we are talking about local area networks, LANs, right? Not about the MANs, not about the WANs, right? It's only about LAN, local area networks. Now, this star topology is the most common topology. Now, do you know in your laboratories in the school, they use a star topology, right? You can see that the device which like light in the bulbs, පොඩි පොඩි ලයිට් පත්තු වෙවි ඉන්න කෙනෙක් ඉන්නේ බිත්තිය හයි කරලා උඩ තමයි අයිනේ සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අලු පාට පෙට්ටියක දාලා, like you can see a lot of wires are going inside that, right? So that is what you call the central device that can be a switch or a hub. So from each and every computer in your laboratory has a network cable which goes and connects with the switch or the hub. Right now, even though it calls the star topology, you really don't need to arrange it in the shape of star, right? Star hike shape can arrange like you can arrange it in anywhere you want, any way you want, but like the cable from a one computer or from one device will be connected with the switch, right? So one cable per device. So each and every device is connected with this. So if this particular computer needs to communicate with this one, he needs to send the data to the switch or hub, then it will be sent to the particular computer. So that is what you call the star topology. So it has a central device. Every other devices which need to be network are connected with it. And bus topology is something like a bus, right? Something like the main road, right? So this is what you call the bus. මේ මැද තියෙන line එකට තමයි අපි bus එක කියලා කියන්නේ. And it has two terminators to indicate that this road has ends. And to this bus, the computers are being connected, right? So those are called, now that kind of an arrangement is called a bus topology. And this bus is given another name, which is called the backbone. Now, like in star topology, the switch or the hub working as a central device, in here, the backbone is working as the central path where all others are given the chance to connect, right? But this bus topology is not very famous like a star topology, because bus topology can only contains limited amount of devices, right? And star topology can contain many devices, right? So if you think about your school lab, you may be having 40 computers inside it or 20 computers, right? But when it comes to the bus, the numbers are less, like almost like less than 10 numbers, 10 computers or 10 devices, right? And this arrangement is called the ring topology. So one computer is connected with the adjacent one, ළඟම තියෙන දෙන්නෙක් එක්ක, right? So if you need to send a message, it goes in a ring manner, right? And again, the data flow, the communication line, works either the clockwise or the anti-clockwise, right? දක්ෂිනාවර්තව හරි වාමාවර්තව හරි තමයි data අරගෙන යන්නේ. So the benefit is it is very easy to communicate the other computer which is adjacent to it. But the drawback, අවාසිය තමයි this particular one, like this, දැන් හිතන්නකො මේ computer එකට මෙයාට message එකක් යවන්නොත් එයා ළඟමනේ ඉන්නේ, but communication line එක යන්නේ අනිත් side එකට නා. මෙතනදී යන්නේ clockwise නම් යන්නේ ළඟම ඉන්න කෙනාට ලොකු වටයක් ගිහිලා තමයි එන්න තියෙන්නේ. It can't come from this side because the communication happens only for one direction, right? And මේ තුන් දෙනාගේ ගත්තොත් මේ අපි දැන් කතා කරපු තුන් දෙනා ගත්තොත් in star topology the central device is damaged, the network is damaged, so you can't do the networking. But any host may connect කරලා ඉන්න කෙනෙකුට කියනවා host එකක් කියලා. If a host is damaged, it won't affect the network. Bus topology එකෙත් එහෙමයි. If the backbone is damaged, it affects the entire network. But if one of these hosts are damaged, it won't affect the network. But in ring topology, if any computer or any device damaged, it affects the computer. It affects the network. මොකද ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ තියෙන එක්කෙනෙකුට එක්කෙනෙක් connect වෙච්ච methodology එකක්. Right? So if one thing get broken, the network affects from that. And this is called the tree topology. Now in tree topology, they use a bus. This is the bus at the middle. And they have connected the devices like hub and switches, where they have used in the star topology to create another small network around it. නේද? එතකොට ගහේ කඳ වගේ තියෙන්නේ, it's the bus. එතකොට එයාගේ අතුවලට සම්බන්ධ වෙලා තියෙන ඒවා තමයි the switches or the hubs. So those switches and hubs contains the devices. So it is called the tree topology, right? And this is the most expensive topology which we call the mesh topology. Why it is called the expensive topology? Because a single device is connected with every other device in the network, right? So this has 5 devices. So if you take one single device, it is connected to all other devices separately. So the communication inside these type of network is very fast. මොකද එයාට ළඟම පාරෙන් access කරන්න පුළුවන්. Right? And again, if anything breaks, like if anything break down, they can communicate using another alternative method. මේ path එක break down no, they can go from here to here and from there to here. Right? So this is called mesh topology because the wires are going here and there always. And again, it is the expensive one, but it is the fastest one as well. Right, so those are called the topologies, right? Terunada, can I have the confirmation, people? Got that? Right, okay. Then let's take this down. ඔගොල්ලෝ මේ ඒ කියන්නේ computers ඇඳලා අඳින්න ඕනේ නැහැ, but it's better you draw the sketch, right? So I'll draw you a one. So first put the heading network topologies, like network topologies. It's better you say like that. Network topologies. And yeah, you have to write this down, star topology and this particular single sentence. Oh, what happened? Yeah, what I was telling you, this is the sketch that you can draw. So this is a switch or a hub. And this is what you call star topology. Right? It's better you draw something like that. Right, okay. One is done. And move to the bus topology. Right, put this hubhead in bus topology. What to be written? Yeah. This is the first point. All the connections are established through a main cable. And after the main cable word, put brackets and say backbone. All the connections are established through a main cable within brackets backbone. And then from here to here. Right. And how we are going to draw the bus topology. This is the way you are going to draw the bus topology. So you can draw it like this. This is the bus, and you can have the devices. Right. So then we are going to go for the ring topology. So regarding the ring topology, yeah, you have to go for the entire thing. And now you know how to draw the sketch as well. So write this and draw the sketch. Right. So star is done, bus is done, ring is done. We are going to go for two things, tree topology and mesh. Right. So regarding tree topology, yeah, it's better you write the first sentence and the last sentence, which is starting from one of the advantages. So tree topology, first sentence plus the highlighted one and the sketch. Okay, one is done. How about others? So when you are drawing the tree topology, be careful to mark the top and the bottom, right? It is a bus. Then you can have the branches. Then you can have the central devices and connect into it. Right. Right, people, are we done? Right. So we are going for the last topology, which is the mesh. So regarding the mesh, what we are going to write. So it is mesh topology, the topic. Yeah, you can, yeah, like we can't omit any of the points. Yeah, it's better you write the entire thing. And the sketch. Okay, one is done. All right. So it seems we are coming to the very last part, the benefits and the drawbacks. Yeah. So when it comes to the benefits of the networking, data and information can be shared between computers, which is uh, a very beneficial thing when it comes to the networking. Like if you need to share something or like take data and information from one computer to another, if we don't have a network, what we are doing is we have to take an external storage device like a pen drive or like a CD or like a DVD. Like, but when the computers are being networked, you can easily transfer data from one computer to another. And if the network has done in a very clear and correct manner, it will take seconds to transfer big amount of files from one computer to another, right? Because it is that speed, right? And another one is less storage device. Now, less storage device means like since we can share the resources inside the network, we can store things in a one specific place and all of us can use that particular thing, right? So like think about the Google Cloud service, right? So it is a network that we use, right? Or Google Drive එක සමහරලාට පාවිච්චි කරලා තියෙන්නේ. So I can store the data inside my Google Drive, then I can share it with every one of you. So what will happen is like maybe hundreds of people are using the same storage device. But if we are going to do it individually, I have to have my own copy, and those 100 people should have their own 100 copies. But when we are networked with each other, we can just share the resource. So one particular place holds the data, but everyone can access to it. Ability to share resources, yeah, so that is one of the one another benefit. Like maybe it has happened in your school computer labs, right? Just ask it from your teachers. So now we have done it in our laboratories, like we are sharing one particular, sometimes we share the printer with a lot of computers. So when teachers are working with in 2-3 different computers, they can put the printout for the one single printer which is connected to the network. So if it is if we are going to use the printer without network in it, so only the computer which has the connection with the printer will be able to do the printout. But when it is shared with the same resources, every other computer is having the ability of printing it. Now, when it comes to the printers, it has the wireless printing as well, right? So when it is being shared, it can the printouts can be taken by connecting a mobile phone, by connecting a tablet, by connecting a computer, whatever the thing, right? So it helps. And ability to control central softwares, yeah, that's a special thing. When it comes to the network, we can store the application software in a one particular place and ask the clients to use that particular applications, right? So one good example is again the Google Drive, right? So in Google Drive, I'll show you the one good example. So in the Google Drive, we got these particular applications. So like Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides, Google Forms, right? So if I open a Google Doc, I can work in that. So anyone who is having this facility will be able to use this, right? So this Google Docs application is installed in the Google server somewhere in the America, right? Or somewhere inside a Google server. So everyone is having a copy of it. And the beauty of it is I can do my own work in the Google Docs while you are doing your own work in your Google Docs. So it's the same application used by several people for several purposes, right? And ability to connect at anywhere and anytime, like I said, right? So when it comes to the cloud-based networks, we can access it from anywhere at any time, right? So the time and the location is free from it, right? And the security, right? So unlike the standalone computers, when it comes to the networks, they implement a higher security because they are having a higher risk, right? So yeah, just a second, people. Right, විනාඩියක් ඉන්නකොට එහෙම පුතාලා මට විනාඩියක් දෙන්න. Right, sorry for that. And when it comes to the security, security is specially implemented on the networks since they have a higher risk, right? With the network there are many people or like many users using that. So they are having their valuable information inside it, as well as there are people who try to hack the network. So comparing to a standalone computer කියලා කියන්නේ කාත් එක්කවත් සම්බන්ධ නැති computer එකක් අත්තම network has a higher security, right? And this, the communication method, the electronic mails, when you are having a network, even a local area network, we can implement an email service, right? So without a very minimum cost, you are able to communicate, right? So which will save the cost. Okay, so yeah. So regarding the benefits of networking, we are not going to write these explanations. So the right side column, we are not going to write that, but the left side columns. So list it down one by one. Only the left side column, right? Data and information can be shared between computers, less storage spaces. So likewise, until electronic mail, right? Copy it down. Yeah, Dinelka, it's like you need to write the left side things duwa. Mete can make a columns දෙකක් තියෙනවානේ. only the left column you have to copy like one by one, like the points, right? You don't need to write the explanation tool. Okay, one is done. Ravindu, no, Ravindu. Like you need to write only the left column puta. Make it columns දෙකක් තියෙනවනේ. Left එකේ තියෙන points ටික විතරයි ලියන්න ඕනේ. Right? So it's just like the topics. So write it like point wise. Right. Okay, so seems it is done. So we are going to the very last topic, disadvantages of networking. Right. So the first issue is the possible security issues. Like I said before, since a network is a collection of devices, it contains many valuable information, and the threat or the people who are trying to hack into it are greater, right? So there is a very big possibility to hack into a network, because network does not perform without a reason. It performs due to some variable reason. So basically information is valuable. Like අපි school network එකක් ගත්තොත් maybe the information that we are gathering is less, but still there are some valuable things for a school to protect. So people who are going to hack into it is a possible threat, right? And breakdown of networks. This is a common issue, like specifically when it comes to the wired networks. So the network engineers or the network technicians are always saying, like, lay the network layer or the network cable layer should be on a place where it does not touch by anyone else, right? So for that reason, sometimes like they fix it onto a wall, or they just fix it in a place where like it's where the people are not crossing frequently, right? So the only breakdown that it can have is like the since the network cables are like කියන්නේ ඒක පාගගෙන ගිහිල්ලා හරි නැබිලා හරි නේද උවමනාවක් නැතුව එහෙට මෙහෙට වෙනකොට it's tend to breaks, right? And the viruses. So now it's a threat for a standalone computer as well. If you are connecting with internet, or if you are connecting external devices into it. But when it comes to the network, the threat is greater, because network means like collection of connected devices. So if one device is being affected from a virus, all the devices are possible to take that virus, right? So because it is like an open road. If we put our if the virus put his bike on the road, so he can travel through any road and get into any house, kind of a thing. So like it's a little bit scary when it comes to the network being attacked by a virus, right? Unlike standalone computers, everything is going to get affected. And the computer breakdowns. Computer means like actually the network breakdowns, which is not a very good thing. Like the problem comes when the server computer is breakdowns. Like in the benefits, you remember like this particular benefit, ability to control central softwares. So there should be a server computer who is having all the applications and serving those to the client computers. But on that particular computer breaks, the service for every other computer is going to break, right? So it's a catastrophe, right? Server එක කැඩනවා කියලා කියන්නේ server එක කැඩනවා කියලා කියන්නේ අනිත් කට්ටියට වැඩ නැති වෙලා යනවා කියන එක, right? So in case if Google server breakdowns, we won't be able to take in most of the information will not be able to have, right? So they have taken massive security protocols due to these breakdowns and the security threats. And again, to work inside a network, you need some practice, some training, right? Otherwise, that particular people will not be able to interact with the network. Not like they won't be able to interact with the computer, but they won't be able to interact with the network if you don't have a proper practice. You should know how to share a thing. You should know when a resource is being shared, how to acquire that resource or how to use that resource. So that needs a proper practice, right? Otherwise, you won't be able to have that facility, right? Because you don't know it. Right, people. So that's the end of a bigger lesson, right? It's a very big theory lesson, but we came to an end. So let's wind up the lesson by writing this, not the benefits, but the disadvantages of the networking. And it's better you say drawbacks of the networks, since the previous one is benefits. These are the drawbacks of the network. And like we write previously, it's just the left-hand side topics that we are going to write, right? And yeah, I'll write the I'll read the things for you to write. First one is okay. Possible security issues. Possible security issues. Within brackets, put hacking. 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 Hacking, comma. One thing is hacking, comma, and put another one. Hacking, comma. Unauthorized access. Unauthorized access. So that will be the first point. The second point will be breakdown of networks. Breakdown of network. Within brackets, it's better you mention computer or cables. Computers or cables. Right, computers or cables. And the third one, it's better you write this description for the third one. This is the third point. Right, the fourth point is going to be this. right? And the last point is this. All right, so we are officially done with the second lesson, right? And it's a big lesson. You can have considerable amount of questions from this, right? We'll practice some of them, right? So the lesson next that we are going to do is the word processing software, right? So which is the fifth one. And any school who has started the number systems? Number systems. Does any school start the number system? Okay, it seems no one. Right. Yeah, the lesson that I'm going to start is something that you have experienced, I think, right? So the word processing. I'll give a brief idea regarding this, right? And we are going to do some practicals by next week, right? And people, if you got a computer at home, it's better you get prepared with it. And if you don't, so don't worry, right? I'm showing you how the things are going to happen, right? And I'll give some practicals if you can just try it out. Even you have the facility at school, if you got it at home, just give it a try, right? So when it comes to the practical lessons, it's the practice you need, right? Then only you will learn how to do the things using the word processing, right? So let's try this out, right? And see how it happens. No, Pehara, you really don't need to download the LibreOffice. It's optional though. Like you can do it from off Word, or you can do it from LibreOffice. Or only thing that you need to do is do get to know about what a particular tool is doing. Right, that's all you need to know. So MS Word is fine, right? Because I'm having the MS Word as well. I can show you the interface of LibreOffice, but I'm doing my practicals using the MS Word, right? Okay, now remember, word processing, like it said, it is for process the words, right? So like we use this for documentation, right? To create some documents like letters, like invitations, like the contents of the books, the table of contents, right? Many different things, right? Some tables, a lot of things, right? So those are related with processing the words. අකුරු නැත්නම් වචන ඉදිරිපත් කිරීමේ ක්‍රමයක් තමයි මේ තියෙන්නේ. You can't use the word processing software to do the calculations. We can use it to illustrate the calculation, but not to do the calculations, right? තෙසඳු ෆස්ට් ටර්ම් එකට පාඩම් 3යි පුතේ allocate වෙන්නේ. හැබැයි දැන් මේ කොවිඩ් සිටුේෂන් එකත් එක්ක පාඩම් ඔක්කොම ටික කවර් කරගන්න බැරි වෙන්න පුළුවන්. right? So සමහර ඉස්කෝල first 3 lessons කරනවා. සමහර ඉස්කෝල කියන්නේ ගොඩක් ඉස්කෝල මම දන්න තරමින් first two lessons and the word processing කියන එක කරනවා. Right? So since the schools are like starting very recently, I don't think you will be having any term tests regarding this. But we have to cover these three lessons, right? So the practical lessons ටික අපිට ඉක්මනට යන්න පුළුවන් since we are doing the practicals, right? අපිට practical එක කතා කරගෙන යන්න තියෙන නිසා theory lessons වලට comparatively we will get in some time to cover it, right? Okay, so yeah, so the word processing is to process word, like I said, and it is not there to do the calculations, right? So here it shows you what are the things that we are doing with the word processing, like I said, like designing invitations, preparing letters, right? Designing certificates, right? Those kind of things. So if you are going to do this using the color pencils and pens and all these things, it will take time, and there is a very big room for errors, right? So if something goes wrong, you have to do it from the beginning, right? But when you are doing it using a software, there can be errors still, but you can correct those things. That's the beauty of it, right? So, and you can save the work to do some other day, and you can have many different copies. You can create any amount of copies you want. So there are many benefits when you are doing things using the...
I'm sleepy.
Okay, you go to a sleep, huh? Right, so you can do many creative things when you are having the ability to work with the word processing software, right? But the only thing is you should have the practice of how, or like the way that you are going to use this software. That is why we are learning these things, right? Yeah, so these are some benefits or like some facilities given by the word processing software: creation and editing, insert object such as images, right? Saving and retrieving, print preview. I'll show you what the print preview is. The spell checking and grammar, which is a very beneficial thing, right? Find and replace, mail merge. It's a different concept when it comes to the mail merge. I'll show you how it works, right? So those are the things, those are the benefits that is given by the word processing software, right? So this point onwards, they are introducing us the different kinds of word processing softwares over here. And remember, people, like every other software, there are two types for this word processing softwares, like two categories, right? There are word processing softwares which we have to pay and take, or like which we have to purchase by paying the amount. So like Microsoft Word is a licensed software which we have to pay and take, right? And there are softwares which has created and allowed the people to use freely, right? Which we call free and open source softwares, right? And it is a very kindful and very valuable service that is given by the this free and open source software developing people, right? They are a bunch of computer geeks. Computer geeks means like they have a very good knowledge, a very sound knowledge regarding the computer software. So they just create it and let others to use for the benefits of them, right? So like if you think about like MS Word or like the Microsoft Office package, it will cost you like 10 to 15,000, right? So there are many people all over the world where they don't have that much of amount to spend on these word processing softwares like MS Word. So in that case, free and open source software are doing a very tremendous work for these people, right? So even in our country, if you think about yourself, if you think about myself, right? There were some point for me which I was like keeping my step back to purchase the word processing softwares. Now I got a license one, because when I'm purchasing my laptop, I had the one. And again, there is another opportunity for you to experience a licensed version of the MS Word. In the eBay, you have these keys of Microsoft Words or like Microsoft Office package, which are reselling for a very minimum price. රුපියල් 1000කට විතර වගේ ඔයගලන්ට license key එකක් ගන්න පුළුවන්. And I am using one of those, but I really don't know how far it's going to last. Right, man, then අවුරුද්දක් විතර පාවිච්චි කරනවා. I didn't get any problem. Right, I'm using 2019 version, which is the latest one. Right, and I just purchased it just for a 1,000 rupees, 1,000 hari, less than 1,000 mataka with it. Still, it is not giving me any hardships, right? It works perfectly fine, right? And it is not an illegal thing to do. You can legally purchase it from eBay. ඊළඟට ලංකාවෙත් ගොඩක් කට්ටිය ඉන්නවා purchase කරන මේ sell කරන ඔය මිල ගණන් වලට. Like what they are saying is they are just selling the keys which are being used already. එක්කෙනෙක් use කරලා එයා use කරන එක නතර කරාම, කියන්නේ computers කැඩුනම, hard disk corrupt වුනාම, so they can't use it furthermore, so they resell it. So resell කරන key එකක් තමයි අපි ඔය purchase කරන්නේ, right? Okay, so we are going to write a very little things regarding this by next week, right? Then සමහර අය leave වෙලා ඉන්නේ 4ට, සමහර අයට හරියටම classes පටන් ගන්න ඒවා තිබ්බා. So we'll meet on the next day and we'll do very little writing regarding this, right? Then we are going to go for the practicals, right? Okay, people. So I'll see you on next week, right? So be prepared. We are going to try the very first practical lesson of ICT, right? So I'll see you on next Saturday for the very same time, which is 2:30, right? So thank you very much. I'll see you on next week. Have a nice weekend, people. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Right, okay, thank you.